5 days ago, NVIDIA stood on stage in San Jose and said, and I'm quoting directly here, that they've just achieved the biggest breakthrough in computer graphics since 1999. Not since last year, not since the PS5, since 1999. That was the year The Matrix came out, a film about a simulated reality so convincing that nobody inside could tell it was fake. Everyone called that science fiction. NVIDIA just called it a product roadmap. I genuinely don't know whether to be excited or terrified about this, so let's figure it out. So what actually happened on March 16th, 2026 at the annual GTC conference? NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang, a man who has made an entire personality of holding up chips like they are sacred artifacts, unveiled something called DLSS 5, stands for Deep Learning Super Sampling. I know that sounds like something a computer science lecturer says before everyone falls asleep. Stick with me here. Here is the simple version. Every game you have ever played has been faking it. The lighting is calculated, the shadows are guessed at, the reflection in a puddle are not real reflections. They're a trick your GPU pulls off in milliseconds so your brain thinks it's real. Every GPU generation for the last 25 years has just been getting better at faking it. DLSS 5 does something completely different. Instead of rendering light the traditional way, it uses generative AI model, the sample kind of AI that powers ChatGPT, to look at a game scene and ask, what would this actually look like in real life? Then it paints that answer onto every single frame in real time. Jensen Huang describes it as, and I am quoting directly, the GPT moment for graphics. 25 years after NVIDIA invented the programmable shader, they are reinventing computer graphics again. That is not me being dramatic. That is literally what he said on stage. Now here's where the Matrix connection stops being a metaphor and starts being slightly uncomfortable. The Matrix came out in 1999. The Wachowski said, look, what if someone built a simulation so convincing that human eye could not tell difference from reality? What if AI was running it? What if the only way you could tell was if someone showed you a glitch? DLSS 5 does not jack you into a pod. You are still sitting in your bedroom. But what it renders on your screen is, and this is the actual language from the press release, previously unachievable in Hollywood visual effects. Hollywood visual effects on a gaming GPU in real time. The demo they showed at GTC was called Zora. Real-time photorealistic materials. A woman's face rendered with skin textures that your brain registers as skin. Not video game skin, actual skin. Online reactions range from, and I found these on Reddit, so you know they are reliable. This is the future to it looks like a Snapchat filter. Honestly, covers most technological breakthroughs. Let me give you the actual numbers because I like to deep dive. DLSS 5 launches for 2026. It only works on RTX 50 series GPUs. That's NVIDIA's latest Blackwell architect. The demo at GTC ran on two RTX 5090 graphics cards simultaneously, only doing the rendering and one running the AI model. Two RTX 5090s together cost around £8,000. Jensen Huang said by the time it ships, it will run on a single card. For context, a single RTX 5090 costs around £2,000. So this technology currently requires a setup that costs more than most people's cars to run at the best. Which brings me to the first thing that should make you raise an eyebrow. NVIDIA's own YouTube demo DLSS 5 got 11,000 dislikes in 20 hours versus 2,100 likes. The ratio is catastrophic. That is the kind of ratio that gets a film pulled from cinemas. Why did gamers hate it? Here's where it gets interesting. Game developers, the people who actually make the games, started posting publicly about what they thought of DLSS 5. And they were not happy. One developer with 15 years of AAA experience said, after seeing the demo, and I'm not paraphrasing here, it feels like there is no future for me in the video game industry. Another said, bad ending. Now every game is AI slop. Third said, weird that this impressive lighting tech also randomly turns everyone into yassified looks maxed freaks. Last one is my favorite sentence I have read this month, and I'm devastated. I did not write it myself. The issue is, game developers spend years crafting an art style The lighting in a game like Hades or Hollow Knight, or even something like the last few God of War games, is a deliberate creative choice. It is not a limitation. It is a decision. DLSS 5 comes along and says, actually, let me make that look more like real life, whether you want it or not. The Assassin's Creed Shadows co-CEO said DLSS 5 is letting us build the kind of worlds we always wanted, which is great if you're making an Assassin's Creed. But what if you are making a stylized indie game? What if the art is the arts? Jensen Huang was asked about the backlash. His response was, well, first of all, they're all completely wrong, which is either the most confident thing a CEO has ever said or the least self-aware, possibly both. Now here's the part of the video where I connect this back to the Matrix and it stops being a fun tech conversation. DLSS 5 makes photorealism cheap, not free. You still need the RTX 50 series card, but cheap relative to what Hollywood spends. Same AI model that makes a game's character's face look real in a game can make a fake person's face look real in a video.
Fake images will today break new ground in New South Wales.
Fakes already exist. You've seen them. They're already convincing enough to fool people on social media. DLSS 5 is not a deepfake tool. Let me be very clear about that. But the underlying technology, the same generative AI principle training model on what reality looks like. Use it to make fake things look real. The Matrix was not really about machines. It was about what happens when you cannot trust what you see. When the simulation is indistinguishable from reality. The problem is not the simulation. The problem is that you have lost your reference point for what real means. We're not there yet, but we just got measurable closer. Is this exciting or terrifying? My actual answer is yes, it is exciting because the things this technology will do to gaming over the next 5 years are generally staggering. GTA 6 already looks like a film. What comes after GTA 6 with DLSS 5 running on it like it's reality? That is either the best thing that has ever happened to gaming or the most disorientating. Probably both. It is terrifying because the gap between making a game look real and making anything look real is smaller than it has ever been. It is getting smaller, faster than anyone is having serious conversations about. The Wachowskis made The Matrix as a warning. NVIDIA watched it and thought, interesting, technical challenge. I'm not saying Jensen Huang is an Agent Smith. I'm saying the man wore a leather jacket on stage and told gamers they were completely wrong. And I think the energy deserves monitoring. DLSS 5 launches fall 2026. RTX 50 series only for now. Gamers already confirmed include titles from Bethesda, Capcom, Ubisoft, Warner Brothers. If you want to see what The Matrix actually looks like, check back in about 6 months. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Exciting or terrifying? Pick a side. Subscribe if you want more of this. It's free. Unlike an RTX 5090, which costs £2,000. See you next time.